Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're your hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every weekday, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can find all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues affecting you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me. One more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Good evening, everyone, to the Fitchburg Common Council meeting for the June 10th, 2025 meeting. The first thing is to call to the order to the meeting, and second, please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Next is roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Alder Mayor Arata Frada.
Here.
Alder Dancer Jr.
Here.
Alder Gerhardt is absent with excuse. Alder Herbst.
Here.
Alder Jetzer.
Here.
Alder Lattice.
Here.
Alder Maldonado.
Here.
Alder Ragsted.
Here.
Alder Vafadar is absent with excuse. You do have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. So next is item 4, public appearances for non-agenda items on new appointment or proclamation. We have a couple of proclamations for tonight. We are going to start first with proclaiming June as a Pride Month in the city of Fitchburg.
Whereas the City of Fitchburg recognizes the importance of equality and freedom for all residents and values the diversity of our community, including our LGBTQIA2S+ residents, who contribute significantly to the cultural, civic, and economic vibrancy of our city. And
whereas June was chosen as National Pride Month to commemorate the 1969 protests and demonstrations in response to raids at the Stonewall Inn in New York's Greenwich Village. And
whereas June has become a symbolic month in which the LGBTQIA2S+ community and allies come together in various celebrations of pride. And
whereas the City of Fitchburg is committed to fostering an inclusive and welcoming environment that supports the dignity and rights of all of its residents, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression. And
whereas Fitchburg is strengthened by the diversity of ethnic, cultural, racial, gender, and sexual identities of its residents and business community members, all of which contribute to the character, talent, economy, and leadership of our city. And
whereas while critical steps have been made toward full LGBTQIA2S+ equity and equality, members of our national, state, and local communities still face discrimination, exclusion, and prejudice simply for being who they are and for whom they love. And
whereas discrimination against people from the LGBTQIA2S+ community around the world makes it imperative for cities like Fitchburg to stand up and show support for our LGBTQIA2S+ residents and continue to advocate and educate our residents to combat prejudice and to promote understanding, acceptance, and respect. And
whereas, despite decades of progress, the LGBTQIA2S+ community continues to face threats to its rights and dignity as recent actions and proposals from the current federal administration seek to roll back hard-won protections in areas such as healthcare access, transgender rights, inclusive education, and anti-discrimination policies, undermining the safety, inclusion, and equality that all residents deserve. And
Whereas, in the face of these ongoing threats, the City of Fitchburg, Wisconsin reaffirms its commitment to being a welcoming, inclusive, and safe community for all, and will not follow or support policies that seek to marginalize or discriminate against LGBTQIA2S+ individuals. And
whereas LGBTQIA2S youth face disproportionately high rates of mental health challenges, 39% have seriously considered suicide, 12% have attempted it in the past year, and the rates rise to 46% among transgender and non-binary youth, with even higher risks of youth of color, including a 325 attempt rate among American Indian, Alaska Native youth. Yet research shows that inclusive, affirming communities significantly reduce the risks by fostering belonging, safety, and improved mental well-being, demonstrating the urgent need for the continued support and equity for LGBTQIA2S individuals in the city of Fitchburg.
So now, therefore, it is resolved that I, Julia Frata, Mayor of the City of Fitchburg, along with the Common Council, do hereby proclaim the month of June as a Pride Month and encourage all residents to actively promote, support, and help to build a culture of inclusiveness and acceptance. This is proclaimed this June 10th date of June 2025. So, okay, so we are going to have a picture, and we have some people from the community.
I'm not dressed appropriately. I'm really sloppy.
We may stand to the side.
We don't need the little ones. We got the big ones. That would be cool. If they want to.
They don't want to go up.
How's this?
This is okay.
Backup photo here. All right.
Yeah.
We trading seats now?
It's really effective, when you're out, if they're doing construction or whatever.
It's been a long day, my bad.
And they see.
Okay, so this is for you. Okay, so next, the next proclamation is honoring June 19, 2025 as Juneteenth Celebration Day.
Whereas Juneteenth, observed annually on June 19th, marks the emancipation of enslaved African Americans in the United States and is a vital celebration of freedom, resilience, and cultural heritage. And
whereas Juneteenth is a time to reflect on the enduring struggles and triumphs of Black communities, honoring their contributions to the fabric of our nation and recognizing the ongoing pursuit of justice, equality, and human dignity. And
whereas, despite current efforts to diminish or erase the significance of this historic day, the spirit of Juneteenth continues to inspire hope, unity, and the collective commitment to a more inclusive and equitable society. And
whereas the City of Fitchburg recognizes the importance of commemorating Juneteenth as an integral part of our community's history and cultural identity. And
whereas it is imperative that citizens in Fitchburg and across the state continue to work towards a more just Wisconsin and join to acknowledge a time in our history that carried on the nation's ideals of equality and democracy and celebrate the joys of liberty and justice for every American citizen.
Now, therefore, I, Julia Frata, Mayor of the City of Fitchburg, along with the Fitchburg City Common Council, do hereby proclaim Thursday, June 19, as Juneteenth date in Fitchburg, and call upon all residents to observe this date with respect, reflection, and a renewed dedication to justice and equality. Let us acknowledge the resilience of those who have fought for freedom and affirm our shared responsibility to build a future where liberty and human rights are upheld for all. This is proclaimed this 10th day of June 2025. Okay, so.
Have you ever had to use the bathroom? That's my phone. Thank you. Oh, serious. Sounds good.
Okay, so next we move to item 5, consent agenda.
So moved. I'll second the motion.
Okay, let me see. All those in favor of the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So next we move to the administrator's report.
Good evening, everyone. I'll start with a couple of events of note. The Senior Center is having their party on the patio this coming Friday, June 13th, from 12:30 to 1:30. The Learning Experience, which is a new daycare, is having a ribbon cutting next Thursday, June 19th at 12 noon. The summer reading program has kicked off, or will kick off next week at the library. The city staff has begun working with the selected consultant on the updating of the city's housing plan. We anticipate the first couple of months will largely be data collection, and then additional work will be done to update that plan. The city's street resurfacing project has begun. You can probably see some of the curb cutouts, for instance, here on the City Hall campus parking lot. As part of the annual street resurfacing project, the parking lots here at the city campus serving the City Hall, Senior Center, and the library parking areas will be resurfaced in those areas where the pavement has failed. The water main repair on Fish Hatchery Road near Traceway Drive is nearing completion. We anticipate that will be completed next week. Revaluation notices are likely arriving in residents and property owners' mailboxes this week. They likely have already arrived on Monday. I see Alder Reichstead is handing me something here. Oh, just as evidence? Okay, just a prop. Thank you. So this is what he is handing me to show. Well, we can take requests. We'll see if they get honored or not. But ultimately, this is an opportunity for folks right now. Open Book is happening, and Open Book is an opportunity for property owners to contact our city assessing department. We have a great staff in the assessing department, and they can have a conversation with them about any questions they have regarding their revaluation notice that they may have received. And that open book period is running between now and next week, Wednesday, June 18th. In addition, there are information out on the city's website under its assessing department, some information on how values are obtained and so forth. And then also a list of sales on the city's website as well, which is largely the predominant factor in valuing single-family residential property. I will also add, as we do every year whenever there is a revaluation, that The percentage increase of your assessment does not necessarily equate to the same percentage increase in your property tax payment, particularly at the local municipal level here. Since the 2017 tax year, the city portion of a tax bill, which is about a third of your overall tax bill in most situations, has risen about 10%, while the city's overall average assessed single-family home has increased over 60%. So just as a point of correlation that it doesn't necessarily equate one-to-one, in which most people may be confused that that's how that's going to work. Again, I would encourage anybody with questions regarding their revaluation notice to reach out to our city's assessor. You may have noticed in the consent agenda the two neighborhood plans, specifically the Greenfield Neighborhood Plan and the South Stoner Prairie Neighborhood Plan, have been out now for referral. Both of those plans are available on the city's website for review and comment. As everyone on this body likely recalls, city staff, common council members, committee commission members, and our community and property owners have been working on these two neighborhood plans for nearly 2 years. They are being referred to the Plan Commission. There will be a presentation by the consultants leading those plans, as well as our planning and zoning staff, on June 17th at 6:30 p.m. during the Plan Commission meeting. There will also be taking written comments that can be submitted to our planning and zoning administrator, Deanna Schmidt, through July 10th. And then there will be 2 opportunities for public hearings. One will be the September 16th Plan Commission, and the second will be the September 23rd Common Council meeting. And in case anyone is curious regarding the sole referral to the Plan Commission meeting, that is largely due to staff capacity and availability, as well as being cognizant of the amount of time we would have to pay consultants presenting this presentation multiple times at other committees and commissions. You may recall that this is a similar process that we used recently for the sustainability plan. And then the final item I have is just a friendly reminder that the mayor, in what is becoming a customary practice, has canceled the first council meeting in July. So there will be no first council meeting in July, which also means there's no public safety nor finance committee meetings that evening either. Questions?
That's the meeting of, or the evening of the 8th of July?
Next, we move to the mayor's report, and I have a couple of things that I want to share with you. We already talked to assessment letters. On Friday, June 6th, I attended the in-person meeting with the Sustainability Leaders Collaborative. The meeting featured a thoughtful discussion with Dane County Executive Melissa Agar and City of Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway. We also had a valuable dialogue and idea sharing with regional leaders. We discussed how to protect our city infrastructure as the city grows, from focusing on infill development, transportation, building our infrastructure more resilient for the effect of climate change, offering multiple choice of housing, especially smaller lot, and incentivizing sustainability construction. And also we talk about innovation. So I want to say thank you to Alder Jetzer and Phil Gruppe, because we represent the city in the meeting. A good exchange of ideas. I also, as you know, I will host my next mayor listening session on Wednesday, June 26th at 6:30 p.m. at the City on the Hill Church on Fishhatchery Road. All residents are welcome to attend and share their thoughts. And I released, as you know, my proposed 2026 to 2035 capital improvement plan on Friday. And this CIP outlines a strategic investment that balance our community priority with fiscal responsibility. The proposed CIP includes cost increases and timing adjustment due to financial constraint. And to stay within levy limits, the plan focuses on maintaining existing equipment and infrastructure rather than adding new ones. Despite this focus, some projects delayed where necessary. There are also uncertainty around federal policies such as grants, tariff, and trade rules, which could impact project timelines and cost. If conditions worsen, further delays may be required. So I would recommend council member to attend the June 23rd meeting. That is the presentation of the CIP from each head of the department to the Finance Committee. If you cannot attend, please watch the meeting because it's going to save you a lot of time when you need to approve this plan. Also, you will have until July 10th to submit amendments to the CIP. If you have any question, you plan to bring any project or any new idea, please check with the head of the department, with Chad, okay, and Misty, okay? So I also start working through the newly developed neighborhoods, but you're gonna mention more about that with Alder Logan. We are starting in District 3. He will explain what we did. I also continue my meetings with neighbors, local organizations, and community stakeholders to ensure an open communication and collaboration in our city priorities. Future events, we have 2 ribbon cuttings in the future. One is next week, is the Learning Experience Daycare. Everyone is invited. You received the information, isn't it? Okay. And the other one is Saferano Ristorante. That I don't remember when is that one, to be honest. So, but you got the email from SIDA. I hope you can attend those meetings too, okay? I want to thank also the Highlands of Seminole Neighborhood Association for inviting me to their annual meeting yesterday. And it was very interesting. More than 70 people was in the meeting. We talked about the sustainability plan and also to address the challenges of the growing community. And I want to say thank you to the neighbors for the invitation, and they asked very good questions. And also, I want to share with you that the City of Fitchburg, the Fitchburg Chamber of Commerce and Bike Fitchburg have been nominated for the Wisconsin Governor's Outdoor Industry Award. So this is an award that recognizes people, businesses, and organizations and places leading Wisconsin's outdoor recreation industry. It's hosted by the Wisconsin Office of Outdoor Recreation. I didn't know that we have one. These awards are designed to celebrate outstanding accomplishments that drive economic impact and amplify the profile of Wisconsin's thriving outdoor industry. So I want to say congratulations to our collaborator. We have a very good partnership with Bike Fitchburg, the Fitchburg Chamber of Commerce. The event will be at the Governor Mansion on June 26th. I cannot assist, so I think Micah is going to be representing me in that event. So thank you. And that's it. Any other question, comment for me? No? Okay. So then we move to the Commission and Committees report. We don't have any update from Plan Commission. Any update from the Board of Public Works, Dave?
Just a couple small things that Tim reported last time. The lights on the roundabout, Lacey and Seminole, have been completed up Seminole. Those are in. And Tim mentioned I think they're getting their quotes for the street, the crack sealing, street maintenance, and that should be going out to bid shortly, or we should be selecting a vendor on that fairly soon. So that's all that's all I had. Bill, did you have anything else you remembered? Tim? Have anything else from your report you want to mention to council?
Nothing else to add.
Okay, thank you. That's all, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So next we move to Parks Commission.
So I'll move approval of Resolution R6625, approval of new playground and swing set structures at Southdale.
Second.
Parks Commission approved.
Did Finance Committee approve?
Finance approved.
Okay, what is this?
So as you know, Southdale, there's a number of things going on there. This is we're adding we're replacing equipment kind of in the north, that'd be the northwest part of the park with new structures. We are keeping some of the structures in the park, and I wanted to thank Logan and Donald for meeting with Sue Easterday to kind of look at the structures. We're still in some discussion about moving them, but we've selected a vendor. For that. Lee Recreation was who was selected, and our estimate or our proposal is for $115,000 for putting in this new equipment. There are other things going in the park as part of the plan, but they are not. That's not included. This is kind of the first part of many things going on there.
So when will I start with this construction?
I believe it will be completed this year by this fall, certainly. I think, Chad. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Any other question, comment?
I was just going to say, we went and walked the neighborhood or the park at least this past weekend, and it's needed where the new stuff is going, and then some of it that can be refurbished, they're going to keep. But for the most part, it'll be a good addition to add to the new basketball court and stuff that they have there. And then the addition of what does she call it? It's like a splash pad, but she called it something else. I think that'll be
a spray feature.
Spray feature will be good to add to the park for the kids and stuff to play in. So I think it's some good additions to come.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments, question? Yes?
I always have one. There's some equipment, I know that from my discussions, that the tire swing can be saved. That's in pretty good shape. That's kind of off on by the basketball courts there. There's some other equipment that it looks like it's in decent shape, but I don't know where we're planning to put the new equipment. So do we have to rip out all of the existing equipment if we're not going to replace it in that spot? So I'm looking at kind of the map of the park right now, and you've got kind of in the northwest spot, you've got the smaller playground and the larger playground broken up by ages. And then you go a little bit farther to the east and you have those kind of the tire swing and those other things. So if everything is going on that northwestern corner, and the only thing that would remain in the northeastern, I understand, is the tire swing, could the rest of it stay there if it's in functional and operating and safe status? Unless and until something needs to change there. I saw several people using it just in the hour that we were walking around on Saturday, around lunch hour.
I can take that. If I recall correctly, I think one of those pieces is in the way of where this equipment will be installed. So depending on the condition of that equipment and its ability to be relocated, we'll evaluate that. And if it's possible that it could be relocated, we can certainly consider that. But I do believe you are correct that the tire swing that's there is likely to remain.
Chad, when they put the new stuff down, are they going to put the lines on the soccer field too? So they don't have to keep guessing or arguing about what's out of bounds, what's not, so they can, if they're trying to play, they can have the official lines down.
So we typically don't paint those lines, largely because staff have to go back and repaint them every few days because of when the grass is mowed or as it grows. If there are any field rentals and that service is requested and paid for, then city staff will go out and line soccer fields. But generally speaking, those kind of neighborhood park fields, we don't go out and line those.
Don, we rotate that. Depending on where the grass too, they'll rotate the orientation of the soccer field. So,
speaking of that, when you rotate it, are you gonna fix those I don't know what to call it, like a dirt patch from where people where goalie you can tell they've been kicking up the grass right there? Are they gonna fix that, or when you turn the fields or rotate the goals?
Those are oftentimes difficult to get to grow back in. I know that our parks department takes a look at those throughout any of the parks with soccer goals, because to your point, that's typically where it wears down. I can't say for certain, but I will mention it to the park maintenance team and see if there's something they can do. Yep.
Okay, any other question, comments? So we're ready. This is a two-third vote, so we are doing roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Alder Dancer Jr.
Aye.
Alder Gerhard is absent. Alder Herps.
Aye.
Alder Jetzer.
Aye.
Alder Lattice.
Aye.
Alder Maldonado.
Aye.
Alder Reichstad.
Aye.
Alder Vafadar is absent. Motion carried.
Thank you. So next we move to the library board. Anything to report?
No report. We meet next on June 18th.
Okay. Commission of Aging Well. Donna.
Nothing to report right now other than the event that city administrator mentioned during his report. It is on Friday from, what was the time again?
12:30 to 1:30, the party on the patio.
Party on the patio. And then also, I believe council members were invited to the meeting on Thursday as well to share what's been going on with their districts and how they plan to increase efforts or outreach efforts to coordinate with Jill and the senior center as they're doing that work as well. So if you can come, definitely come to that meeting too. But other than that, that concludes from Agent Will.
Thank you. Resource Conservation Commission.
Yes, we met last night. I'll give an update before I get to the items here. Phil Gruppe, our sustainability specialist, presented the 2024 energy benchmarking and renewables analysis. That report is nearing finalization. We've got 41.5% of our municipal electricity from renewables in 2024. 8.6% decrease in municipal fossil fuel from our 2018 baseline, even as the city's population has increased by about 20%. And a 26% decrease in per capita fossil fuel use, so municipal fossil fuel use per resident since the 2018 baseline. The city has about 463 kilowatts of solar PV, and we are back at full strength for the first time since some point in 2022 when the first of the inverters failed. So they are all back up and running currently. And typically what we find is that about 60% of that electricity is used to service in real-time demand, and about 40% gets sold back to MG&E. I expect that should even out or we should probably be using a little more as we increase our electric vehicle fleet, and we have vehicles charging all day long. And those solar panels provide about 8% of our municipal electricity for the year of 2024. Phil is looking at potentially doing a Fitchburg Star article about this energy benchmarking. He also talked about our green tier legacy status, and he's going to look into writing up a summary that's kind of more user-friendly than the spreadsheet that he was scrolling through at the meeting. Lomo May, we had about 44 households that formally registered for the program, and as you were driving around, you probably noted that there were quite a few more people taking part. I think he had estimated that something like, of the people who actually registered over the last couple of years, it represented something like 17 acres of open space for the pollinators to feed on. I'll draw your attention to an RCC event at the library coming up next week, the 17th, from 6 o'clock. That's Tuesday. That overlaps with the Plan Commission meeting, from 6 to 7:30. It's all about composting, and we're going to have Rick Eilertson, former Fitchburg environmental engineer, talking about home composting. Sustain Dane will be there to talk about their collection efforts at farmers markets throughout the county. And Robert Pierce will be talking about composting at Paisley Farm. Green Thursdays will be coming back starting in the fall. We'll do the first Thursday of every other month starting in November. So November, January, etc. RCC is good. I'm sorry. Yeah, Green Thursdays. Yes. It's so it'll be some sort of a documentary film shown and a discussion. So we'll pick some sort of a sustainability topic and talk about that. RCC is going to try and work with the Bike and Ped Commission on bike and/or walk tours of sustainable features throughout the city and/or bike or pedestrian infrastructure in the city, just to kind of highlight things that we've got in our city here. Kind of like the sustainability bike ride tour that we had back in 2021, or the Walk with Joe that we had last month. Ben Schulte let us know that each Fitchburg address can get one free reusable yard waste bag from the city, and additional bags can be purchased for $1.50. So contact the city if you're interested in that. And the plastic collection for the Next Trex fundraiser, they met the goal, but please keep recycling your plastic. Ben has been, he gave us an update on various activities. So a rain gauge has been installed at Quarry Ridge Park. He's completed some dry weather inspections at various outfalls, and he found no illicit discharge. That's one of my favorite phrases. And he's been doing some inspections of city-owned stormwater basins and outfalls into them, and rural culverts. Work is proceeding on the Yarmouth Greenway Stream Bank Restoration Project. Reminder for everyone that Charge Up Dane County, there's looking for up to 70 sites to host EV charging stations. These would be at private entities who would provide the parking, and then they would get in return permanent electrical infrastructure, and the chargers would be installed. And that deadline is this Friday the 13th. So if you know of any sites where you think an EV charger would come in handy, you should be able to Google that, Charge Up Dane County, and find the application. And I guess tangential here to sustainability efforts, I want to give a shout out to our own Jeremy Crosby. I listened to an interview he did with Phil Groupie for the sustainability update, and he mentioned that he recently rode his bike to the grocery store for the first time and brought groceries home. So, the first of many, I presume. All right, so moving on to the actual agenda items here. I'm going to move to postpone Resolution R9525 to the June 24th meeting. That requires a two-thirds council vote. I would really like to have the entire council present for that.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of postponing resolution R-95-25, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, and moving on, we have one more.
Oh,
I
you
will
have one more. Okay.
move approval of Resolution R9625, acceptance of salt reduction grant award.
Second.
Resource Conservation Commission approved.
Did the Board of Public Works approve?
Public Works approved.
Thank you. Finance?
Finance approved.
Okay, what is this?
This is a scale that we purchased back in January, and it saves us an awful lot of time calibrating the salt that comes out of our salt trucks. So it turns a 20-minute manual labor process with a lot of heavy lifting into a 2-minute easy job. And we applied for and got a grant that pays for 50% of that scale. And in return, we did a bit of a case study with a video, and so that the information we provide back will be shared with other municipalities. Ben Schulte took us through this last night. We've got some pretty sophisticated trucks, so the goal is to drop a certain weight of salt on every lane mile of road, and the dispenser is smart enough to be calibrated to the vehicle's speed, and then there is also, based on the weather, the amount of salt that we want to drop changes, but apparently we can calibrate this once a year typically, and then regardless of the weather or the speed of the truck, we're going to be dropping the appropriate amount of salt.
It depends.
Well, the answer is it depends, but I guess maybe Tim can give us kind of a usual range of how much salt. I don't know off the top of my head.
That's a Mark Hodel question. But I can respond back. I can get that answer.
Well, I guess you may know off the top of your head, how many tons of salt do we go through in a typical year? That's like 700 tons or something we did last year?
What?
This past year it was 600 to 700 tons. I think we budget for over 1,000. Our shed the big shed holds about 1,000 tons, and then there's another couple hundred that can fit in one of the old salt shed we have. So capacity wise, we're a little over 1,000. And then this past year, I believe it was around 600 tons we utilized.
Tim, when I said 700 tons, there was a collective gasp here. Could you convert that to, like, I don't know, dump trucks or cubic yards or something? Maybe that'll help people wrap their minds around it.
Like a dump truck's about 15 cubic yards. So tonnage. Well, I would, yeah. I'd have to do the math on that.
What's the weight of, or the specific weight of salt? Is that
the dump trucks fit 15 tons, not cubic yards. So one dump truck's about 15. We have 10 trucks. So, a storm we could easily go through 150 tons. If it's icy, it definitely can go through and Mark has, through his 32-year career, it doesn't happen a lot, but there are a couple storms he remembers where they went over 100 tons for that storm.
Okay.
But that, I believe, was a while ago. It's not, the salt usage isn't what it used to be, and it has gone down each year.
Okay.
At any rate, we bought a scale, and we got a grant for half of it.
Okay, so any other question, comments? All those in favor of resolution R-96-25, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay. So next we move to Transportation and Transit Commission.
No report. We meet on Thursday.
Okay. Community and Economic Development Authority. Joe.
I don't have any report.
Okay. Agricultural and Rural Affairs Committee.
We meet next Tuesday, the 17th.
Thank you. Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission. Joe.
Let me get off mute. So we met last week. The big pieces of discussion were planning for a September 24th Committee of the Whole presentation. So be on the lookout for that. We also discussed potentially doing joint events with other committees. We didn't come to a final decision on that. And then Phil gave us an update on the bicycle and pedestrian plan update. Our next meeting is in August.
Thank you. So when is the bike and pedestrian plan will be ready? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay.
But I can find out.
Yeah.
I think we're estimating this fall.
Okay. EMS Commission, no report for now. Then we move to the Healthy Neighborhood Committee. Who is in the Healthy Neighborhood? Donald.
No report at this time or major updates.
Okay, we need to postpone the resolution. Can you move that?
I'll move we postpone the resolution R-196-24. Do we have a date in mind for that, or July 22nd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a question. We're doing it again because
Because there are a couple of comments and feedback that they need to be included in the plan, and staff has not have time to do it yet, so this is why.
Gotcha. Second.
Okay, all those in favor of postponing resolution R-196-24, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion carries. So next we move to Housing Advisory Committee, and there was a meeting yesterday that I recall, but yes, so no update. Landmarks Preservation Commission,
No report.
Tree Advisory Committee,
We meet on Thursday.
thank you. Ad hoc Community and Equity Committee,
We are making steady progress to get the committee to come before council to be a recognized forward-moving committee within the city, and we are in the final stages of that, and that should either come at the June 24th meeting before council or the second meeting in July, depending on when everything is finalized.
yeah, we need to refer it out first. Maybe we refer out the 24. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all. Okay, thank you, Donna. What?
Well, I guess I could say, just with that committee, we did the proclamation tonight, but we are going to do the Juneteenth flag raising on Monday here, or next Monday, June 16th at noon here at City Hall. We're going to raise the flag. The mayor and myself are going to say a few words. So if you're available, please come out to the Juneteenth flag raising.
Thank you. Okay, so now we move to standing committees report. We will start with the Finance Committee. So,
I will move approval of Resolution R9725, amending the 2025 capital funds budget, reallocation of 2024A debt proceeds.
Second.
Finance Committee approved.
okay, what is this?
Well, we took out some debt last year in the form of notes rather than bonds because notes are a little more flexible for us. And it meant to be spent on the police facility, which is a bit delayed. So in order to avoid arbitrage payments, or essentially payments on the interest we've been earning on that money back to the government, we are going to reallocate those funds, do a one-to-one swap from the police department to our street resurfacing. So we'll be spending that money in the time required, and then we will not have to pay any arbitrage penalties.
Okay. And it's almost $1.8 million, isn't it? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Misty, did you want to add anything to that?
The only thing I would say is it's more than just the streets project. That was one of the examples, but there's 6 projects in total that we're doing that one-for-one swap of funding sources. Okay. And we're not changing how much money can be spent on these capital projects. We're just changing the funding source between ones.
So here is, we are, it's the police, no, the General Street, Ficherona Road, Sain Road, EMS fleet, fire rehab vehicle, and fire engine. So we're going to use the money in those projects. Yeah, okay.
I understand. What would we have, how would we have paid for these if, say the police facility was moving ahead on schedule?
Yeah, so the streets project, as an example, it's property tax funded. And so all we're doing is we're saying we're going to do the same project as before, but we're going to spend some of it using borrowed money, and then that property tax money we're going to move over to the police facility, so the police facilities can still continue as planned. So all the projects that we're transferring that one-to-one swap for is property taxes.
Thank you. You explained it the first time. I just didn't listen. Thank you.
Good morning.
Okay, any other question, comments? This requires 2/3 of the votes, so we are doing roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Alder Dantzler Jr. He said aye. Alder Gerhard is absent. Alder Herbst.
Aye.
Alder Jetzer.
Aye.
Alder Lattice.
Aye.
Alder Maldonado.
Aye.
Alder Ragsted.
Aye.
Alder Papadar is absent. Motion carries.
Thank you. So next we move to Personnel Committee.
We do not have, we haven't met. We meet again in about a month or so. We'll probably have some agenda items. Potentially what is upcoming is there's some shifting around of different positions that potentially will be coming to personnel, but other than that, no update at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Public Safety and Human Services.
Today we approved the alcohol licenses for the city, so that is done. And just of note, our next meeting, Monkey Shines is on the agenda for next meeting, so
yeah,
make everyone aware of that.
Yeah. No. Unfinished business. No, we don't have anything. New business. Nope. And then we move to the Alder District. So we are going to start with District 4. Oh, look.
Okay. There is on June 14th, that's this Saturday, from 4 to 6 p.m. At the Memorial United Church of Christ on Lacey and Richardson. They're having a bike rodeo, so it's going to have bike checkups, like a skills course for kids. And this is a fundraiser for Cycling Without Age. And they're also going to have bike blender smoothies, which I am interested to find out about. We already mentioned the ribbon cutting for the learning experience. It's nice to have some childcare options opening up near employment centers. That's a great place to have that. I participated in the Festa Italia Bocce tournament with Jeremy. Well, so there was the city versus the fire department. The city won all their matches. I should probably mention that the fire department had a structure fire in the middle of the first round, but we still won all of our matches. And Jeremy won the tournament for the second time in its history. So, yeah. So that was a good time. And let's see. The only other thing I have, June 6th, this is a little late, for those who celebrate, was National Donut Day. So that was really important for everyone to know about. So, if you didn't celebrate, every day can be National Donut Day if you want it to be. So that's all I have for right now.
I saw that you post in social media that you're having one of your meetings in your
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Yes, I am having a meeting in Seminole Glen Park on Friday, June 27th, so at 11 a.m. I'll just be at the park shelter, so anyone who wants to come and say hi or open discussion, I will talk about anything. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. District 3, Donald and Logan.
I'll just give an update on a few things that happened. So we got a chance to volunteer at a few opportunities. So Bratfest was fun. Got a chance to volunteer there and served as a cashier. We also did Tito's Fest. So I know I was there. Mayor Julio was there. Our council president, who isn't here today, Gabriella Gerhardt, was there, and some other Fitchburg residents, and got a chance to hang out with the students from Leopold. It was cool. I've adopted a class from there, so I got to hang out with some of the third graders again before they departed for the summertime. So that was a great opportunity. Also, while we were in Southdale this past weekend looking at the parks and the restructuring that was about to go on, Logan and myself will have more information about this, and we'll put it on socials and probably in the newsletters that go out, but want to do some more listening sessions in that park specifically, as it was one of our healthy neighborhoods. And we want to make sure that that neighborhood remains a priority, and that we are making sure that the residents feel served in that area. So we'll hold some more of those listening sessions and get a chance to meet more of the neighbors and things in that community as well throughout the summer.
All right. Following up on that, I went to the Pride Flag raising here at City Hall on June 2nd. Was glad to see such a great turnout from folks within Fitchburg and a couple from outside of Fitchburg as well. On Wednesday, June 4th, Mayor Arata Frada and I walked through Highfield Reserve. We were able to knock on a few dozen doors of houses that were recently built and kind of welcome folks to the community, share some resources to kind of help them get connected right away and really start to build those strong community relationships from the jump. One of the things that I thought was really it really stuck with me was there was a lot of younger families in those houses in that neighborhood, and a lot of them had said that they actually lived in apartments here in Fitchburg before they moved into these homes, which I thought was pretty telling. For a couple reasons, one of which is that, we hear from folks who say that folks who live in apartments aren't always necessarily invested in the long-term success of our community. And I would say that these folks that we talked to for a couple hours on last Wednesday night would kind of beg to differ. And I also would like to kind of think that it shows that once people kind of get a taste of Fitchburg and all that we have to offer here and our trails and our parks and, our proximity to downtown, but still kind of the suburban feel, that they want to stay here and build their families and their lives in Fitchburg. So it was really a reaffirming opportunity. And unless the weather doesn't cooperate, I believe we're still planning to do the same thing tomorrow in Terra Vesa. So we'll be out in another one of our new neighborhoods, welcoming some more of our District 3 residents tomorrow night. And I guess I'll put in a continued plug for my newsletter, which second edition should be going out here hopefully next week. LoganReichstead.com/news is how you sign up.
Thank you. District 2.
Yes, as the mayor mentioned earlier, I also attended the Sustainability Leaders Collaborative meeting at the Oregon Public Library, and that site was chosen specifically because of its sustainability features. I took a little tour. It was built to be net zero. It's heated and cooled with geothermal, and it's got 61 kilowatt solar PV system on the roof. It's been operational for about a year and a half or so, and they're kind of working on analyzing that one full year of data to see how close they have come to net zero. One of the comments that the mayor of Madison had made during that was kind of stuck with me, and she said, for decades, the way we've built our cities has made the easy choice be the unsustainable option, and we as elected officials and city staff, we have the power to reshape our city, and we should do so to make the sustainable choice the easy one. We should be able to walk to our destinations or get on take public transit to our destinations rather than having to jump in a car and go from A to B to C to E. So that was one thing that really stuck out to me. June 1st through 8th was Bike Week here in Madison area, and I was actually on vacation for most of that, but on Friday I did go to the week-ending event at Brittingham Park. There were hundreds of people there, and people were tabling the event. The MPO was there, Madison Gas and Electric, Bikes for Kids, Wisconsin Bike Fed, etc. Plenty of food and drink there and music. Micah mentioned this Saturday is the Pedalpalooza event at Memorial UCC, just up the road on Lacey here, and we will have a trishaw available. So if you're wondering about that, show up and you can get a little ride. And the bike blender smoothies, I can explain that. There is a blender mounted to the back tire of a bike, a stationary bike. And so you throw the ingredients into the blender, and then you get on the bike and you pedal and you make your own smoothie.
But do not pedal too fast. I've learned that the hard way years ago.
Okay. And June 16th, that's the Monday, that's the first concert at McKee for 2025. 6 p.m., the opening act, the Sandblasters, will take the stage. And then at 7 p.m., the main event is Don't Mess with Cupid, an 8-piece soul group. And the next day, Tuesday the 17th, if you don't already have enough to do with the RCC event and the Plan Commission public hearing on the neighborhood plans, you could also go to Leopold Park for the Parks Alive event from 5 to 7 p.m. And then on Thursday, June 19th, is Strawberry Fest at the Farmers Market. So I think the Lions Club will have strawberries and ice cream there, in addition to the normal Farmers Market activities. And that is also Juneteenth. The library is closed, the entire city is closed. That is a recognized holiday in the city of Fitchburg. And don't forget, Monday, June 23rd at 6 p.m., come to the Special Finance Committee meeting for a CIP presentation. All of the department heads will be here talking about their various projects.
Thank you, Bill. David.
I'll let Joe go first.
Go, Joe, do you have anything to share?
Yes. So there is a event on the 16th. It's called Parks Alive. It's held by the city of Madison. It'll be in Allied Park, which is right across the border on 2370 Revival Ridge. From 5 to 7 p.m. There will be activities, games, a lot of fun stuff for communities to do. It's kind of a part of both violence prevention and community building strategy. There will also be Make Music Madison at the same location on Saturday, June 23rd from 2 to 7 p.m.
Thank you. Dave, do you have anything to add?
Just a couple of things. The police chief and I were trying to schedule a walking tour of the neighborhoods. We're trying to get our schedules meshed. Let you know when I get that done. In the neighborhood, you see we have a couple businesses, that are getting close. See the Blue Plate Catering, their construction is really nice, and the new Hispanic grocery store and the old Quick Trip. We're really looking forward to that. Just a plug, if
La Hispana is actually open, Dave.
It is open. Thank you, Joel. Well,
yeah,
I'm even more excited now. If you didn't get a chance to attend previously, Festa Italia is just a great event. I went to listen to the band Saturday night, and if you want to be inspired, there's a mass on Sunday morning by an Italian priest, Father Dominic Rascioli. It's very inspiring. But I would tell you, don't wait too long. I think he's 79, so I don't know how many more years he'll become. Also, the Quarry Ridge Apartments. There's a huge crane. That building's going up pretty fast. Giant pile of sand. It's a big construction project. It's kind of fun. You go by every day and you see something change. So, and I also want to shout out to Sonia Hakel. She posted for me in Spanish on the Allied Drive Duns Marsh Neighborhood Association meeting. She worked with Ross, got the information about the streets repaving and everything, and got a notice out to the residents. The city's done a good job communicating. This is one of the ones where we can't over communicate. No matter what we do, no good deed will go unpunished. But the more information we get out to residents, the least pain I think there is. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. So then next we move to announcement, and I want to make an announcement. As you know, after 16 years of service, Captain Edward Hartwicks resigned from our police department. And I want to say, I know that Ned, this is how we call him, watches our council meeting. He had told me many times. And I hope you're watching this one, Ned, because I want to thank you for your leadership and community engagement and your service to the Fitchburg community. I have known Captain Hardwick for 10 years, and he has been a role model for new officers. Ned, you will be missed, and I wish you the best for you and your family in your next phase on your career and journey. So next we move to our formal announcement, and next one is the committee of the whole meeting is June 19. Remember, June 19.
June 18th.
18th?
Oh, 18.
18.
Oh, my God. So that one, what we are going to discuss there? I forgot.
Yeah, so we are going to discuss the city's financial management plan with our finance director, Misty Dodge, and our public finance consultants, Ellers. That is an annual committee of the whole agenda item in June. And then the second topic will be a presentation by the city's police department regarding its proposed reorganization plan, as well as obviously an opportunity for discussion.
Okay, thank you. And then our next common council meeting will be June 24th. I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourning at 7:37. Good night. Buenas noches. Wow, record.